Good evening to another show of World Conflict Zone. Let's get right into this evening news for October the 6th. And if you enjoy this content, please hit that like button. And if you enjoy news such as this, please consider subscribing and joining us. This is probably the biggest story that I can share. According to insiders at the investigative committee, the Russian messaging app MAKS, M-A-K-S, has become the main source of a criminal case against Russians thanks to its surveillance. They claim that in just 6 months of operation, the messaging app's built-in surveillance system identified hundreds of users who made negative statements about the Ukrainian government and air defense forces. A significant portion of the criminal cases were opened under articles of defamation of the army and extremism. However, according to law enforcement officials, a significant portion of the messages did not contain obvious fakes or calls for violence. They were personnel correspondence in which citizens expressed dissatisfaction with the political situation in Russia or the country's defense against the Ukrainian armed forces. Approximately half of the cases involved residents of border regions who complained of daily drone attacks and expressed concerns about the effectiveness of local air defense systems. The investigative committee, according to insiders, cannot publish this data in open sources. Otherwise, MAKS surveillance would be compromised. The investigative committee acknowledges that the messaging app has become a personal assistant for law enforcement agencies, while just over 600 cases were opened under the slander article before March 2025. Thanks to the MAKS surveillance system, that number has already exceeded 1,000 and continues to grow. Scout is the Telegram channel. As well as Trump has warned Iran again. Renewing nukes will be addressed promptly. President Donald Trump issued this direct warning to Iran, saying that if Tehran tries to restart its nuclear weapons program, the United States will respond promptly. When asked if he would hit Iran again if nuclear activity resumes, Trump replied, "Sure, without question. Absolutely, it has to be unbelievable." Now moving on to other news. Not much confirmed news coming out of Cairo today, except that negotiations between Israel and Hamas are ongoing with mediation teams. There are, however, unconfirmed reports that things do not seem to be progressing as it stands today in a way that we might feel confident in saying it is progress. That can change. Things overall, minus the typical small-scale drone and missile warfare between Ukraine and Russia, mainly warring against oil and infrastructure on both sides. There was some northern Syrian fighting with the Kurds in northern Syria the night before last, and some reported border skirmishes between Afghanistan and Pakistan. Not much report on Cambodia and Thailand. Venezuela has relatively been quiet, and North Korea just doing military posturing with a half-size term new battleship. And what I say half size is if you were to take a typical size, full size U.S. battleship, okay, at what, 10, 11,000 tons, cut it in half, and that's what they're showing off. I will report to let you know that Domino's Pizza, both locations that are closest to the Pentagon, are reporting higher than normal traffic this evening. And thank you very much for listening to this evening report.